Mabuhay pageant fans! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey, Adam G. So, it's finally time for me to do a comprehensive review of the finals night of Binibining Pilipinas last weekend. Do you guys still have a hangover of the finals night? Ako, I still do. I'm still on a high right now. I am really feeling high even up to this day because I was able to predict 5 of the 6 girls correctly in the actual winner's circle despite the title assignment shuffle. I really feel good about it because that only means my analysis is on point and it makes my job here quite validated as I am more trusting with my gut now or my instinct more than ever. Alam mo guys, malaking tulong talaga that I am an accredited media member of Binibining Pilipinas, so I really get to see the girls up close and personal without the rest of the fans seeing how they act or conduct themselves behind the scenes. It's really in these behind the scenes that the actual judging is taking place now that I think or analyze everything. Yung mga little actions or demeanor nila in my coverages were really helpful in coming out with my final leaderboard. And to everyone I met in Araneta too, maraming salamat for approaching me and telling me how you all have been enjoying my content ever since I became an independent pageant vlogger. It really feels good. We all had so much fun interacting with one another because the show started very late at exactly 10:40 p.m. Talagang inurasan ko talaga yan kasi ang tagal. Sobra considering 10 p.m. yung memo na binigay sa aming mga media ng Binibini. And I warned you all about it to have a full dinner first because we would really end up at the wee hours of morning the next day. So this is where I hope Binibining Pilipinas Charities Incorporated could think about doing this again next year at an earlier time, as I feel the 10:40 p.m. start was a stretch for all of us pageant fans. I was told the reason why they did this was so that their live telecast will be simulcast live, would be televised live, as well all across the TV stations of our country, and that they wouldn't want any spoilers coming from online media outlets reporting the whole thing real time as how the practice has been for so many years now. I hope next year Binibini could start at a more decent time like 9 or 9:30 p.m. at most so that the whole show would be finished earlier as well. So the show started at 10:40 p.m. with the SB10 P-pop boy band opening the entire show, and I must say, wow, I've never seen the whole Araneta Coliseum so energetic and hyped up for an opening number. Even I, who is not into K-pop or P-pop, enjoyed SB19's performance to their modern rendition of the Binibining Pilipinas theme song. Kung pwede nga lang tumayo at sumayaw-sayaw sa seat ko, I would have really wanted to. That was how pumped I was all throughout during the live show, during the opening number, and when the candidates finally came out in their colorful outfits, all the more the crowd went wild. So I really have to give it to BPCI for hiring local boy bands like SB19 who definitely injected so much fervor and excitement on the show. I felt Binibini just gained a whole new set of following given SB19 has a strong fan base in our country. Considering last year lang pala sila nag-debut, and despite giving it a modern twist, SB19 still retained the heart of our beloved Binibini song that made us fall in love with the song all over again. Finally, Binibini is really heeding to our call to modernize its pageant, and getting SB19 was surely one way to make it more current and relevant. Even up until now, nakaka-LSS talaga yung kanta nila, and even that makes me want to learn the dance steps and download the song on Spotify. And then, eto na, Catriona and Nicole Cordoves finally came out on stage to serve as hosts. I must say, these two are already seasoned and professional in what they do. Their energies and youthful appeal definitely were an additional eye candy to the show with their numerous outfit changes all throughout the night. And both of them were really engaging hosts, especially Nicole, who even sounded natural with her ad-libs and unscripted moments that you wouldn't feel that she was hosting at all. She is really turning out to be a pro just like Catriona. So pro that not even a lull that led to the confusion towards the end of the announcement of the show could diminish their stock as MCs. While we know that anything can happen on live broadcasts, the two girls that our former title holders still handled themselves very well. And by now, the lull that took place should be a non-issue already, as Catriona, her management company Cornerstone, and even Miss Lara Kigaman, who is now part of the Binibini Execom, have quashed all the rumors and speculations or the negative perception that it brought momentarily. So, now that it's out of the way, let's now go to the production values of the show, which I feel needs to be put out there for improvement in future editions. Yup. Am I the only one who feels the stage lacked the vibrance it needed to make the show more visually appealing? Up until now, I still don't get the huge speed dial design on the stage. Like, I don't know its significance or relation with Binibini at all. I wish it could have just repeated the LED floor stage and camera angling that Binibini employed during their press presentation earlier last month, July 5. The camera angles and resolution, or even the dolly shots that the production company Binibini hired for the finals night, were so far away from the girls, especially in the swimsuit competition. The lighting, when you watch it on TV or on Binibini's YouTube channel, was very dark and smoky. I wish they could have done a repeat of 2015. Napansin nyo, di ba? Nangyari na to eh. However, the fast pacing of the show was also something I truly appreciated. Binibini, for the second consecutive year, went to the first cut immediately, which made the whole show more exciting. The top 12 first cut was so brutal, as there were so many deserving girls, in my opinion, who deserved to be called up there. It is also in this part where I wish Binibini would reconsider doing a top 15 or top 16 cut next time instead, because of how competitive this batch is, and for sure the future batches as well. And I do understand that they were very mindful of the airtime allotted to them, but I feel there were certain parts of the production that should have been cut down to a minimum to give space or more airtime for three more candidates to ramp down the stage. I am talking about the backstage moments of Samantha Bernardo and Edward Barbers, and even the other backstage correspondents from Kumu, where I feel it could have been cut down as well to 5 minutes combined at most per commercial gap, as they just all read the fans' comments online. I would have appreciated though if both Samantha and Edward Barbers did a color commentary on the girls who made it to the top 12, but since Samantha was partnering with Edward, who doesn't know anything about pageantry, Samantha had no choice but to join Edward in reading those fan comments online. Yeah, so how I wish this could be reconsidered next time. I know Kumu is a major sponsor of the show, of Binibining Pilipinas, but I hope BPCI could strike a balance between pleasing its sponsors and fans next time. However, guys, despite some minuses on the production side, there were still so many highlights worth noting that made me appreciate watching the show live. The segment of Miss Lara Kigaman being introduced as the newest member of BPCI Execom while announcing that Binibini has just won an Anvil Award recently gave me Madam Stella feels. Ako naramdaman ko yun. Sa totoo lang guys, part of me feels she's being groomed the next national director, ala Madam Stella, whom we haven't seen in a long while. And I also love how the show paid tribute to both Maureen and Cindy Obinita for winning Miss Globe and Miss Intercontinental last year. It truly gave me that feeling that BPCI was really giving so much importance and appreciation for both international pageant organizations for this amazing feat that we got for winning their titles last year. So nakita nyo during the announcement of winners, they ranked second and third in line in crowning the next set of girls during the announcement of the winners. Diba? But above all, you know what? The segment that truly struck a chord in me was when it did a feature about our past queens like Pia Wurtzbach, Desiree Verdadero, and Marilyn Espino, giving a special talk to the Binibinis about sisterhood and long-lasting friendships in one of their pre-pageant activities. I feel it really made me, when I watched the clip, it really made me tear up on my seat as all former queens relive their Binibini days and the long-lasting friendships that they have made along the way. And I thought it was very poignant and touching. So for me, that was truly one of the highlights of the show. So now it's time for me to go to the actual top 12. Out of the actual top 12 candidates who made it to the show, I'm so happy that I got 9 girls correctly in the list. Jasmine Omay, sa totoo lang, was definitely a pleasant surprise in the lineup. However, I get her placement because she really has one of the most beautiful faces in the competition, except that she has always been hampered by styling issues all throughout the pageant. On the other hand, I knew Ilyana Aduana and Anne de Mesa would be up there despite me only putting them on the 13th and 15th spots respectively in my final leaderboard. For me, they really held their own against the other candidates, especially the heavy frontrunners, and I just couldn't ignore the latter who also gave very consistent performances all throughout the entire pageant. Now let's go to the top 12 segment. I really love how the girls were able to perform in swim, evening gown, and Q&A for a new uniform or comprehensive judging system. Everyone in the top 12 had a chance to perform equally, so there was no excuse for all these candidates to be judged unfairly since they had to perform in 3 rounds. So when it was time for them to ramp down in their Justine Aliman swimwear, which I so love. I love the swims, the color, the design, and even the cape. I thought the standouts there in the competition were Nicole Budo. For one, she was very fierce and in fighting form when she did her catwalk. You can really feel her intensity, and even at one point made me feel she could be the recipient of Best in Swimsuit award after watching the rest of the girls perform. And next to Nicole Budol, I thought Roberta Tamondong was very sexy and outstanding as well with her catwalk there. That slow-mo twirl she did in the middle was really the bomb. So this Binibini is really a performer. I also like Ilyana Aduana's turn here. Her body was so shapely and she knew how to work it. In fact, she reminded me so much of a softer version of Punika Polfa at one point with her styling, which I hope she could have remedied by putting her hair down to make her beauty shine even more. Gabby Bashanna next was also very commanding. I thought, wow, I just love how she had curls for her hairstyle this time around as it made her look so vampy. So vampy that even the color of her lipstick was so glaring that I wish she could have toned it down. Her facial turns here were so fluid and scintillating, and those long strides were really evident, and I feel the judges noticed that too. And next is Chelsea Fernandez, who was also smoking hot on this round. I just love her face and turns here. It was very soft, sexy, feminine, and that camera totally loved that face. And lastly, Jasmine Omay again, I must say, was the biggest revelation of this swimsuit segment of the competition as she commanded so much power and charisma in this round with her stunning and alluring walk. Now, her walk at one point reminded me so much of the girls who were in the same color of swimsuit in Miss Universe 2002 held in Russia 2 decades ago. Jasmine was just very captivating here because you can feel that she was enjoying her moment here by smiling more. A far contrast to how she performed during the prelims. So nakikita nyo na guys how a better styling can improve a candidate's overall performance. So definitely Jasmine was the case here. And now let's go to my most favorite part of the program, the evening gown competition. So let's dissect the top 12 girls in this portion. Let's start off with Karen Mendoza from Iloilo City. When Karen came out in this evening gown, I wasn't really wowed, to be honest, guys. Yup, for some reason, I really did not feel her spark the moment she came out, considering she was the opener of this segment. Perhaps it was because I have seen this kind of gown design already. The sleeves of her gown, I feel, made her look older on stage as opposed to how sweet her styling was from the neck up. So if it were up to me, I would have wanted to remove it for her. That's why she was, trying to do a lot of facial expressions for us to look at her face even more, not at her gown. However, on the positive side, guys, the embroidery done on her gown reflected the waves on the beaches of her hometown, as it made her thin waist sexier. But then there was the glaring hip pads, which for me is a non-issue, had she probably worn a darker fabric for us not to see it. If wearing hip pads will make someone's figure more shapely on stage, then I am all for it. But I just hope girls doing this will opt to wear a darker colored gown so it won't be visible next time. And next we go to Nicole Budo's gown. I really felt her strong stage presence the moment she finally came out in her evening gown. It really looked amazing on her. She wore an intricately embroidered gown with an orange cape and heavily crystallized bustier to reflect the ani or the bountiful harvest of palay of our farmers in the country, which was apparently the inspiration of this gown. And I must say that this gown was really well made, and her lean Budol worked it non-stop on stage to the point that she was so fierce all throughout her presentation, which all the more was emphasized by her thick makeup. She hardly smiled in this round, I noticed, and I also wish she could have removed her orange cape as the whole gown could stand alone without that. But I understand that it was part of her theatrics to enhance her performance, as to reference her hipon tag and symbol at the back of her gown. Then Chelsea Fernandez came out in a beaded gown with white ruffles at the bottom, which I feel was more of a bridal gown for me than a pageant gown. I also did not like her showing her wrist, bearing her sash to add more drama to her performance. No doubt, the gown was well made too, but was it something memorable? I don't think so. No, because I have seen this gown in many reiterations before. But her face, styling, and showmanship truly worked big time to offset my misgivings towards her gown. Her wide swept hair styling totally matched the sweetness of her face, while her slow-mo twirl revealing the beauty of her face were outstanding. Chelsea's face is so beautiful talaga, but how I wish she could have chosen a lighter color for her lipstick shade, as it was too dark for the sweet demeanor she was projecting in this segment of the competition. Then, Nicole Borromeo came out in this beautiful lavender embellished evening gown side cape, which was inspired by the encanto of our Philippine mythology. What I truly love about this gown is its asymmetrical silhouette, which made her look more delicate on stage. I also love how Nicole Borromeo worked on her side cape while carrying it on her arm and then flipping it at the back towards the end of her presentation. I thought Nicole looked all the more exquisite with this gown, plus the beauty of her face was truly highlighted here. She was so mesmerizing here that we did not get to notice her walk here. I hope she really improves her catwalk, especially in the swimsuit portion, because I feel like she just literally walked the stage. After Nicole Borromeo, Gabby Bashanna came out in this Raya-inspired white and golden gown that featured golden vertical chain lines and a salakot hat that floored me all throughout her performance. She really looked lovely and statuesque in this gown, as the vertical lines on the bottom part of her dress all the more made her look taller on stage. Hers was a showmanship I was truly lapping up as I was really waiting for her to finally remove her salakot hat. And at first I thought we saw that she just touched it sideways to highlight her face, but she finally removed it towards the end of her presentation, which revealed the beautiful bun she was sporting to complement her gown. I thought that was really a perfect combination of aesthetics and great showmanship. It really felt like it continued the storyline of her Perla evening gown performance last year, for which she also won the Best in Long Gown for it. So this and her performance last year was a well thought out storyline we did not expect to happen on stage. Her designers, Ken Batino and Jaivin Salaysay, should take a bow for all their creativity here. And next came Ilyana Aduana, who came out in this rose-colored Marachua fitting gown with a bustier style chainmail bodice that totally showed off her curves. And just like Gabby, she truly worked her gown during the presentation. However, there were two things weighing down her here from achieving a flawless presentation. For one, her high bun hairstyle for me could have just been replaced with a straight hair down instead. And the ruffle back design, sa totoo lang for me, was so distracting that. And next is Diana Maki. When, you know what guys, when Diana Maki came out in this round, she looked every inch of a stunner in this heavily embellished see-through gown which made her look tall on stage. She really looked lovely and immaculate with every move she made. The messy hair, for me, was very refreshing. However, I wish she could have sported a lighter shade of lipstick to soften her strong facial features on stage. But overall, I really like what Diana did here and had she had for me one of the best gowns of the night. But if it were up to me, I would have wanted her to wear that ultra sexy dark green evening gown in one of her latest photo shoots that she uploaded on her Instagram to make her taller and more imposing on stage. And then Jasmine Omay from Tarlac Province was next. When she came out in this sexy aquamarine gown by Miko Sula with a low V-cut design and crystallized leaf patterns, I thought she looked phenomenal from head to toe. For one, the color was very refreshing to the eyes, which she even enhanced by her beautiful smile. And I just love her whole styling here as Jasmine finally got it right with her hair straight down and makeup which really highlighted the beauty of her face. I also have to highlight her lip color here as it really highlighted her face even more. For me, it was at this moment I felt Jasmine shone the most in the competition. Then Roberta Tamondong came out in this fiery, heavily sequined and beaded gown by Sir Louis Pangilinan, which was inspired from our world-famous sunset. I thought, wow, Roberta looked so ravishing in this gown, which all the more showed her curves as well. Her middle parted hair and light curls also complemented the beauty of this gown as it really made her stand out in a sea of white beaded gowns on stage. Roberta was definitely on fire at this very moment that I thought she and Gabby were neck and neck for the best in this round. And next was Ana Valencia who came out in this simple white gown with draping. I hope her stylist won't kill me, but I feel she was the weakest in this round as I feel this white gown did not do any justice to flatter Ana Valencia's curves at all. It really looked like a bridal gown for me. While I love the fringe beading on her shoulders, everything else was a miss. Either the design of this dress made Anne look fuller or big on stage, or Anna simply just gained weight, is something that I am still debating even up until this day. It was at this moment I thought Anna was slowly losing her grip for the top title, as we all know she was gunning for. And next came Anne de Mesa, who looked sensational in this heavily embellished midriff cutout gown, which she complemented with her side turns and liads that showcased her legs and slender figure. Anna was just very captivating here and held her own against the other favorites. And although I wish she could have sported a different color to make her all the more a standout, she nevertheless shone here. It was at this very moment as well where I feel the titles at stake were truly lacking as Anna was really one of the contenders of the night. Then last but not the least is Stacy Gabriel, whom I feel came out with an interesting choice for an evening gown. She came out in this red magenta color combination high slit gown with a long skirt, which I feel was a very interesting choice as I could not comprehend the aesthetic of this gown made by Sir Raus Uson. Actually, the mesh illusion on the side was a dead giveaway as it's always his signature design. No doubt the color combination made Stacy a standout on stage but did not complement Stacy's aesthetic overall as it made her look shorter. And so how I wish this red pattern and ribbon on the side could have been taken out to give it a better look overall. So overall, I thought the standouts of this round were Gabby, Roberta, the two Nicoles, and Jasmine Omay. So now let's go to the Q&A portion. I feel the level of difficulty of questions asked in this round were very even compared from last year. There was a mix of personality and current issues that were asked, but nonetheless easier to answer this time around. It was all about the girls speaking in the most convincing and heartfelt manner as to who would win eventually. So let's try to go over all of them one by one para ma-dissect natin if they really truly deserve to win the top titles. And first was Karen Mendoza, who was asked about body positivity and the other diverse beauty standards in the world right now. And I feel, sa totoo lang guys, she wasn't able to directly answer her question as she ran out of time by making her answer personable. It was at this point as well where I felt so nervous for her as I knew the likes of Nicole Borromeo, Stacy Gabriel, Ilyana Aduana, and Jasmine Omay would definitely kill this round. Then Nicole Budo was up next, who had the luck of picking a judge who voluntarily translated her question in Filipino. And I feel the question asked of her was very tailor-made for her, and it was at this point I felt the stars truly were aligning in her favor to place so high in the competition. She was asked about her character transformation that she had to go through in Binibining, and she really killed it by sharing her experience and quotable quotes with her answer in the process. And to be honest, guys, I got teary-eyed in my seat listening to her answer as she was so sincere and heartfelt with her answer. Na akmang-akma talaga yung tanong sa kanya, so she really ran away with this one big time. Na she was so confident and passionate na parang speech na yung datingan ng answer niya, which totally resonated with the judges. And at that point, sa totoo lang, naramdaman ko, I knew she would place so high that I started to get nervous, which once in my top 6 on my final leaderboard that she would dislodge. Ito yung sinasabi ko talaga sa inyo kay Nicole Budol ever since. Alam kong nahihirapan siyang sumagot kapag social issues na ang tanungan, pero masaktuhan o tsempohan siya ng tanong na akmang-akma at may kinalaman sa buhay niya, bubula talaga yung bibig niya, and this what happened during the finals night. Up next was Chelsea Fernandez, who was asked about the importance of looking back at our history in order to build a better future. I thought she gave a very short but very on-point answer about it, and at this point I knew she would get one of the titles of the night. Chelsea has really improved so much and did not sound rehearsed at all. Then came Nicole Borromeo, whom I thought gave one of the most simple yet heartfelt answers of the night. She was asked about rating herself as a citizen of our country, and she made it personable by sharing she had so much to learn and improve as a citizen, which I feel definitely resonated with both the judges and the audience. I thought she really made herself very relatable here, or all the more made herself very relatable. She really answered it straight to the point and very casual that made her a standout. And now we go to Gabby Bashanna, who definitely surprised me in this round. She was asked about toxicity and fake news spreading on social media and how it affects her candidacy in Binibining Pilipinas. And I must say, guys, nagulat ako sa sagot niya. She spoke about uplifting the roles of women in our society, and for a moment talagang sinabi ko sa sarili ko, si Gabby talaga ba tong sumasagot na ito? Si Gabby ba talaga tong naririnig kong sumagot? Grabe! She really has improved so much with her Q&A that I never thought she could be this impactful. Dati kasi 'di ba, aminin nyo, parang kalat siyang sumagot. But now, what I love about her newly improved Q&A skills is that she spoke slow and did not look frazzled upon hearing her question, so she was able to convey her thoughts fluidly on stage. And at this point talaga guys, I thought she really had one of the titles in the bag. Then Ilyana Aduana from Laguna was asked about her thoughts on a title holder's My Body, My Choice advocacy, which she was able to expound convincingly with her confidence and fluency in English. Na she was really great that I thought she would win the top title at this ground already. Then Diana Maki was asked next about the relevance of a Binibini platform amidst the proliferation of instant internet celebrities, and I thought she did very well by speaking very casually about it and related to her personal experience. I thought she did well here but could have edited her thoughts well so as not to run out of time. I thought also at this point in time she could also be a shoo-in for one of the titles at stake. And next was Jasmine Omay, who was asked about why the Filipinos are still the happiest in the world despite the challenges we face. And I love how she spoke with so much conviction and related with her passion and purpose for this pageant. Now, I thought her ending statement was very cute as she referenced it back to her judge towards the end. Now, Roberta was up next and she was asked about life's missing essentials, and she came out with a heartfelt answer which wasn't as impactful as the rest of the answers that had been said earlier. She answered about bringing back old telephones so that we would be reminded of our past. Well, sa totoo lang guys, she decently explained it well. It was not as convincing or on point. And maybe she could probably, in my opinion, could have said something like wearing mask at this point to sound more relevant. Then Anna Valencia was up next and she really hit a home run about the sacrifices that she made for her Binibini dream. I thought it was also a very heartfelt answer. It was a very heartfelt answer about making the big move of relocating here in the Philippines from Germany to pursue her dream. Diba? And so was Ande Mesa, who spoke well about her question of choosing to innovate things than to lead. I thought she expounded her answer very well, but it was Stacy Gabriel who closed the show with a bang with her on-point answer about the difference between a historian and a marites. I thought she was on point with every word that she said by uttering the right words to say. Like, ang dami niya sinabi doon. Fact terms na sinabi, like factual evidence, painful past, history, humanity, and rebuild. Na I thought those were powerful words that brought out the best of her eloquence on stage. And diba guys, sinasabi ko naman sa inyo, noon pa sa final leaderboard analysis score, even during the primer, bubula talaga rin ang bibig dito ni Stacy. So I knew she really would be up there in the final moments of the competition. And when it came down to the announcement of winners, I was so happy that almost all my top picks in the final leaderboard made it to the winner's circle. Nicole Borromeo winning the Binibining Pilipinas international title was not a surprise decision as I had her as an alternate in my leaderboard. I was just worried lang talaga guys about her missing the press presentation and improving her styling choices, which made me doubt her chances. But now that she won, it made me think about the importance of it made me think about the relevance of or importance of press presentation starting next year. Na she really made a strong impression among the judges and execom, na to the point that her absence in the press presentation hardly mattered at all. And same with Roberta Tomondong, whom despite not giving an impactful answer, still made it till the very end. Siguro, realizing at everything that took place, it's not the Q&A that usually determines the fate of the girls in the finals, but more about the overall showmanship. And Roberta, sa totoo lang, has been very consistent with this since April. And dito ko talaga napatunayan talaga yung power of deliberation sa Binibini. As I feel Binibini is really changing its strategy this year for MGI. It must have realized Roberta will be such a waste if they will only put her in a runner-up position despite her overall showmanship. And with Roberta's win now, she is now the new Samantha Bernardo, in my opinion. The hype, the body, the Pinay na face, it's very strategic. Na it must have been the same sentiment of the execom and the judges during the deliberation. But guys, the most telling suspicion of the night was directed to Gabby Bashanna, who was deemed the overall performer of the night, but only got the second highest title of the night, which is the Binibining Pilipinas Intercontinental title. I feel Binibini is really serious in winning a back-to-back win for our country in the forthcoming Miss International, Miss Intercontinental. And unlike Miss International, who seems to be allergic with a back-to-back win scenario, Binibini is trying to test the waters or flirting the idea if the organizers of Miss Intercon might be receptive to a back-to-back win scenario by fielding the best performing delegate of the night. Gabby, nakita niyo naman, truly gave us a show last weekend, and Miss Intercontinental loves those kinds of girls na palaban. And same with Chelsea Fernandez with her back-to-back mission in Miss Globe. Chelsea, I feel, has to work more on her catwalk skills, knowing Miss Globe likes girls who are beautiful and the model prototype. So there you go, guys. What do you think about my finals review of Binibining Pilipinas this year? Grabe, sorry guys, sobrang haba. This might be the longest review I've ever done in my pageant vlogging so far. Well, let me know your thoughts down below and let's continue the conversation on the comment section. Alright guys, until my next video. Bye!